Good day, viewers, and welcome to today's Sport Wrap Show. I'm your host, Ashwin Berry, unpacking the latest sports news. Now, we start off with Champions League as Inter eyes their Champions League final after seeing off AC Milan last night. And Windhoek Draught Welwitschias dealt a huge blow as Berg is ruled out of this weekend's game against Kenya Simbas in the Rugby Mzansi Challenge. But first, let's get into today's hit list. A knee ligament injury last weekend has likely ruled out Windhoek Draught Welwitschias vice-captain and fly-half Berg for at least the remainder of the Mzansi Challenge campaign. Berg will thus not be in contention for the Welwitschias match against the Kenya Simbas in the Hage Stadium on Saturday. I unfortunately injured a ligament on the outside of my knee shortly after half-time. The medical report so far indicates that I would not need to have an operation, but that I could miss a significant part of the season, having to submit a rest period before taking on a rehab program and hopefully being able to resume running again in 5 to 6 weeks, Berg told the newspaper yesterday. Spotlight is up next after the break. Heading into the spotlight, we are joined by boxing analyst PJ Hamunyela as he speaks about Namibian boxer Philippus Energy Ngitumbwa's fight against Philippines' John Real Casimero in Manila, as well as about the health of Namibian boxing and how it needs to improve drastically. Limba Mpetami has compiled this interview. Have a listen.
Okay, Energy Philippus Ngitumbwa is taking on a tough opponent in the Philippines on Saturday. That, of course, is former three-time world champion John Casimero. I mean, the 34-year-old Casimero has a professional record of 32 wins and only 4 losses so far. And he has held world titles in 3 divisions. His last defeat was 5 years ago in September 2017. But since then, he has gone on an unbeaten streak of 8 fights. Whereas the Namibian, that of course is Energy, is less experienced, but he has an unbeaten record of 13 fights. He has age on his side as well. But of course, PJ, you are joining us today to just analyze these 2 boxers. Of course, you have watched Energy fighting. What do you make of this upcoming fight?
I just want to thank, I want to thank you for having me in studio. What I'm looking at this fight, this is one of the great fights. So far in the country, I think when we talk about Energy, he's a promising youngster that we are having. We are rooting for him, of course. He is the champion. I saw him from when he turned pro and how he came to where he is today. It was never an easy fight for him. Of course, being with Nesta, one of the best promoters in the country. One unique thing about Ngitumbwa is that he never had a shortcut. And I always ask myself why Nesta never gave this boy an easy opponent. And he was, of course, thrown in a lion den, and he have walked out victorious. So even when it comes to this fight, it's a great matchup, 2 great fighters. But we are 100% positive that Energy is capable of beating Casimero.
So, and also having analyzed some of the fights of Casimero, what would you say about his fighting style?
He's beatable. And when we are looking at Energy, for example, Energy's loss come against one of Namibia's also best fighter, Jonas Matthias. And that was when Energy was just coming up. And Energy cleaned up that because he went to have a rematch whereby he stopped. So he have, of course, he have 1 loss, but he have he fought He went for a rematch and he won the guy by knockout, which means if it was possible to delete the loss from energy, we could have done that. When I look at these two guys, they are both having almost similar styles, but then energy, of course, is a champion. Number two, energy also have an advantage of the reach. Plus that energy, when we are looking at the losses now, Casemiro have experienced more losses than energy. So which again put energy in a good platform. And also not to forget that Casemiro have now moved up to super bantamweight, where he's going to fight for the first time with energy. So the power, we are not sure if he is going to handle the power of energy.
Okay. Now, PG, if energy happens to win this fight, what does that mean for his career?
Greatness, greatness. If energy wins this fight right now, the next fight we are looking at him fighting the great, because we have two guys. We have Phantom, who's holding 2 titles, and I think they're going out to go for an undisputed champion. So obviously, energy winning this fight against Casemiro put him as a mandatory of whoever wins the undisputed of the 2 current champions in the division.
Okay. Now, speaking about the state, just moving away from energy's fight or the weekend fight, speaking about the state of boxing in general in Namibia at the moment, do you think that it's in a healthy state?
Not at all. Not at all in the sense that, you know, as a boxing analyst, we are always wondering on how certain appointments are done, more especially when it comes to the Minister of Sports. We have people who have been appointed to be board chairperson of the boxing board, and these people have less to no knowledge about boxing. Hence, they don't really hence we don't see changes when it comes to boxing. One of the most crucial points is that Namibian boxers are not protected. So they are being robbed on a daily basis. Of course, I carried out a research with different promotion in Namibia, where I came with the result that Sunshine promotion pays the highest, followed by Salute, of course, then comes the other promotions now with less sponsors. But now imagine a pro fighter fighting for a mere 1.5. You know, 1.5, what will it bring to the table? How can this person, as a boxer, sustain himself? We are looking at the health condition of them. Boxing is a very dangerous sport, and one can lose. They are risking their life just to entertain us. But let's say this person get hurt in the ring. Who is going to take care of this? Okay, let's take away the lack of Sunshine and most probably Salute. But there was also an incident of one of the boxers from Salute, and I know very well, who needed a brain scan, and the academy couldn't do anything. So some Samaritan have to come forth because the fight was on, and this person have money have to be donated for him to go for a brain scan, for him to go to fight for a WBC title in SA. So I just believe that the control board is failing completely. Boxing should be revived, and I think we need to bring in people who really have boxing at heart, who also understand boxing. We have a lot of former champions who knows and they know how they were groomed, whether good or bad, which they can use that skill to bring boxing to a next level. So our boxers are not taken care of, and it's a pity.
Okay. Yeah, now just speaking about, I mean, you're an avid boxing fan, you're a boxing analyst as well. You've been to boxing events, so many boxing events over the years. With Nestor Sunshine Topias, one of the biggest promotions in the country, you've been to Salute boxing events as well as Kilimanjaro boxing events as well as AC Boxing Academy when they host boxing events. Now, I want you to analyze these boxing academies. Okay, we know that AC Boxing Academy doesn't really have any sponsorship, but if you look at the likes of Nestor Sunshine Tobias Academy, if you look at Salute Boxing, if you look at Kilimanjaro, these guys are sponsored by MTC. Do you think that the boxers that they are producing so far, are they up to par?
Yeah, that's a very good one. You see, we can only say they are producing greatness when we see how far they are able to travel in the world. So far, Nesta has proven himself. Nesta is known, I believe, is one of the best promoters in Africa alone, and is among the greats when it's come to the world, because he have taken his boxes to the States, to some, even let me say where Energy is fighting this weekend, it's a historic venue where Muhammad Ali fought some years ago. Madison Garden, we have boxers that fought there from Namibia. I just think where we are failing, it's not really, when we are talking about sponsorship, I think people need to understand, because we can't just say probably it's because of sponsorship. It's also about connection. Let's talk about AC, for example. He has been around. We have seen him videos with the likes of Mayweather Senior in the Mayweather gym. So it's about him marketing himself and him also getting the right direction or advices from, or making partnership, rubbing shoulder with the greats for them to have their fighters in the States, or for their fighters to be seen worldwide. Now, one of the biggest issues that we are having in Namibia is that fighters locally, they are not fighting each other. You know, we have greats, we have got prospects in Namibia, but they don't want the young boys to fight each other. So now they are going to neighboring Zimbabwe, Malawi, Tanzania, the DRC, and go get, and even Angola, to go get opponents. While you could, I think it's less logistics when we are having our fighters fighting each other. So now it also takes me back to the controlling board, where I don't understand how they sanction their fights, because there are no rules of how one should defend the national title, for example. Our national title is a useless title, because if you look at other, in the UK, they have got this, they call it Commonwealth. That title is for their country, but when you find fighters are fighting for that title, these are big prospects in the country for them to prove themselves who is great in that division in the country. So now you find ourselves, like in Namibia, we have, let me say, welterweight. We have a welterweight from Nesta, we have a welterweight from Salute, we have a welterweight from AC and Kilimanjaro. But these guys, they never fought each other. And now you want us to say, no, the one from Nesta is the best. How will we know? The boys must fight, the boys must prove themselves.
Of course.
Yes, rather than just you going to get fighters from abroad, and then here, they get knocked. It's actually a lot of mismatches. I believe if the control board wants to revive and to make sure that at least people should be of the same attitude, you understand, when it comes to fighting or sanctioning fights. And I see even in Russia and other countries, if you get beaten like badly, for example, a knockout, they suspend you for some time, for you to, maybe 6 months, for you to recover very well. Now we have fighters. There's a fighter from Salute Boxing who fought, I think, last month. 3 weeks later, he's still fighting in Ghana. And how do you expect this fighter to produce? Because number one, this guy is coming from a draw. He's going straight into a fight again. Because then we are going back to the health of boxers. And now, sadly, now our boxers don't understand, because they are brainwashed by their coaches. They are being robbed, but because they are being cornered, they are not able to speak out about all these things. So now one has to dig deeper and also try to talk to boxers who are willing to talk as anonymous, because they're scared to be victimized. There's a lot of politics in boxing, and I think that's where we need to start, and that's where we can now start to produce real boxing and bring boxing back in Namibia.
All right, okay. Now, just coming back quickly and concluding with this question, what would your prediction be for Saturday's fight between Energy and of course Casemiro? Do you think Energy, or do you think they're going to go the full bout or full rounds, or do you think that there will be a knockout maybe?
I strongly believe there's a chance. Okay, half of my heart is telling me they are going 12 rounds. Where 12 rounds, of course, now if we are to go 12 rounds, we need to consider that Casemiro is playing in his own backyard. And for a boxer now, for a fighter to win in somebody's backyard, you need to prove yourself beyond reasonable doubt. But I'm rooting for a knockout, of course, from Energy. I see 95% of my heart is telling me is winning this fight.
All right, okay, let's see what happens over the weekend.
Awesome.
Yes, thank you so much for coming through PG to talk to us.
Thank you for having me, Limba, and looking forward again being back here for more boxing.
What a wonderful and insightful interview. Now, Namibia made history at the Kenya Zone 4 Swimming Championships in Luanda, Angola, and we'll be getting into that in the youth segment of the show up next, which is Sportify.
Hey, don't worry about the car, boss. I check nice.
Thank you, but it's okay, ne? F&B Insurance. Checks nicer.
No.
At F&B Insurance, we provide cover for all your valuables, from your car to your laptop to your phone. F&B Insurance. You value it, we cover it. T's and C's apply.
Namibia made history at the Kenya Zone 4 Swimming Championships in Luanda, Angola. The team produced the following achievements: overall champions of the competition, overall most points in the female category, overall most points in the male category, age group 12 and under female Victor Lodurum winner Rosalinda Machkai, age group 13 to 14 male Victor Lodurum winner Lorenzo Esthazen, age group 15 to 16 male Victor Lodurum winner Olivia Durand. And overall, the team was phenomenal. Swimmers brought home 45 gold medals, 36 silver medals, and 36 bronze medals. Kudos to the team. Congratulations on all their work in Angola. Now, our special Le Rugby Joel is up after the break.
The next days are not a measurement of time, but the distance from here to the finish line. For the race you are running, for your kids, your career, your health, your future. Not away, but towards it. While the voice in your head reminds you it won't be easy. But by simply swinging your feet towards the floor, you've taken the first step. Grow for it with Stamino Grow. 5-in-1 supplement available at all leading pharmacies.
Welcome to Le Rugby Joel. Now, as we build up to September's Rugby World Cup, we take a trip down memory lane. Namibia qualified for a 7th successive Rugby World Cup in 2023 after beating Kenya 36-0 in the Rugby Africa Cup final at the Stade Maurice David on Sunday, 10 July 2022. And of course, Namibia will also be facing Kenya this Saturday. Certainly looking forward to that game. However, up next, it's Ari Hochad with Globetrotting.
It takes heart and all the soul. A head stuck in the game. It takes every bone in your body, all the blood in your veins. And then more blood, and more sweat, more tears, all your hopes and your dreams. It takes conquering fears. It's late nights and weekends, 6 to 6s, 9 to 5s. It takes sacrifice and suffering every moment of our lives. It takes kick after kick, being kicked when you're down. It takes fighting for hours, for inches of ground. It takes every last line out, every last second spent. It takes absolute devotion. It takes 100%.
May, choose brand new. Choose drama and deceit.
I'm very attracted to you.
Oh.
Would you be interested in having an affair?
Choose fights and fallouts.
I won, and that was right.
I brought the heat. I mean, I'm gonna destroy you.
Choose truth and discovery.
I miss her every day. I see her every day.
Choose fresh shows, series, and original entertainment. This May, choose brand new. Choose DSTV.
So that's it from me, Ashwin Berry. I will certainly see you tomorrow. But just as I said, I'm leaving you in the very capable hands of Ari Hogad as he takes us globe-trotting in the world of international sport.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with soccer news. It's the Champions League that continued with the semi-final. It is two Italian teams that played in the semi-final, so definitely one Italian team will be in the final. But it was a good result for Inter Milan. They played at AC Milan, and it was Inter Milan that won the game by 2-0. So definitely advantage to Inter Milan at this moment. The winner of this game will play in the final against the winner of Real Madrid against Manchester City. In the first leg that was played at Real Madrid, it was a good result for Manchester City. That game ended in a 1-1 draw. All to play for next week Wednesday. That is when Manchester City will host Real Madrid, and that will be in Manchester. Continuing international sports news with tennis news, it is the Italian Open taking place in Rome, and the first round results in the men's division is that Andy Murray of England, or Britain, is actually from Scotland. He's out of the tournament. He's a former winner of a Grand Slam tournament, and he lost to Fabio Fognini of Italy, and the score there was 6-4, 4-6 and 6-4. Also, another player from Great Britain is out of the tournament. Of course, they're playing this tournament on clay. Maybe not always the preferred surface for these players, but it's Kyle Edmonds that's out. He lost to Alex Miller in a 6-1 and 6-3. Also, good result for Wu Yebing from China, and he beat a very experienced player on clay, that is Richard Gasquet of France, and the score there was 3-6, 6-3 and 6-3 for Wu Yebing to be through to the second round. The number one seed in this tournament in the Italian Open is Novak Djokovic. He was injured for quite a while, but Novak Djokovic is back again in action and is number one seed in the tournament. The number two seed is Carlos Alcaraz. He is from Spain. In the women's draw, it is Paula Badosa of Spain. A good result for her in the first round, beating Anna Fritzen of Belgium by 4-6, 6-2 and 7-6. And then it is Sloane Stephens of the USA. She's through. She beat Nelly Podozowska of Argentina, and 6-4, 6-1 the score in that game. The number one seed for the women's division is Iga Swiatek, the world number one, and she will probably have a very good and strong competition from Aryna Sabalenka of Belarus. That is the second seed. Continuing international sports news with golf news, and it is related to the PGA, the second major of the year on the men's tour that is taking place next week. And news from the tournament is that the well-known Tiger Woods, the 15-time major champion, he will not be able to play. He's still struggling with a leg injury. He hurt his leg in a car accident, and he did play in the Masters, but he had complications in that tournament, so he's not playing in the tournament. It will be the third time in 7 years that he will miss the PGA tournament. Also in doubt for next year's or next week's PGA tournament is Jordan Spieth. Jordan Spieth, he injured his wrist and he's in doubt. He withdrew from the tournament, the PGA tournament, this week. It will be played at the Oak Hill Country Club, that is the PGA. After that, the third major of the year will be the US Open. That will be played from the 15th to the 18th of June in Los Angeles, and Tiger Woods indicated that he hoped to play then in the US Open. Then the British Open will also be later this year. That is the 20th of July. That will this year be played at Royal Liverpool. To conclude today's international sports news, MotoGP news, and the good news for the French Grand Prix this coming weekend on Sunday is that Marc Marquez, he is racing on a Repsol Honda. He's fit again. He had a wrist injury or hand injury that he picked up in the Portuguese Grand Prix a few weeks ago, but he's been passed fit to race in the French Grand Prix. That's Marc Marquez. He's one of the multiple world champions. At the moment, the leader of the points is Francesco Bagnaia. He's on a Ducati. He's got 87 points. He's followed by Marco Basseschi of Italy on 65 points. And then good news for South Africa, in third position on his KTM at the moment is Brad Binder, and he's doing well in the season. So it's a French Grand Prix this coming Sunday. That's international sports for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk again tomorrow. Goodbye.